If you guys want the fastest way to improve your aim, get some Control Freaks for cheap. Use code Goblin for 10% off and improve your aim today. Link in the description. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty World War II video. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys the best class setup for the new Sten SMG in Call of Duty World War II, as well as my opinions on this gun, how good it is, and some other tips for how this gun runs. It is a pretty dope SMG, and honestly, for the first DLC gun, it is fairly strong, because basically in other Call of Duty games, usually the sets of DLC weapons you get, the first couple are kind of, weak, and when it gets towards the end of the game's life cycle, or at least 6 months in, they start to get stronger and stronger, because if they come out with really good weapons at the start, that's when a lot of people like to say pay to win, all that sort of stuff, and the community really gets up in arms. So in today's video, I'm talking about the Sten, but this is definitely a weapon that I do enjoy a good amount. Hope you guys will enjoy today's video, and if you guys can drop a like on this thing, I would appreciate that. Me getting this Sten just came out yesterday. I'm already getting a class setup out for it because I was playing quite a few games with this gun. It is freaking awesome. Drop a like on this thing, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I would appreciate all of that. Also, I want to point out, I don't have the Sten on my account yet. I'm still working on getting it. Of course, hopefully I'll have it soon or eventually, but my buddy Raidaway actually has the epic Sten, which cost him like 31,000 armory credits, and he let me hop on his account. So huge shout out to him. If you guys want to go subscribe to him, his link will be down in the description. I appreciate it very much, him allowing me to play on his account, and I played quite a few games, and that's where I decided, and the best Sten class setup, and this gun is really fun to use. So let's talk about this gun a little bit. The first thing is that this gun honestly straight up reminds me of straight up of the Type 100. That's what this gun really acts like. Of course it has a different iron sights and of course different aspects to it, but the sounds it makes, it's a little bit different, but everything reminds me of the Type 100, this gun. Now, is this gun better than the Type 100? I haven't really decided yet because my opinions are constantly changing on SMGs because they are so similar in how good they are. Honestly, I'm not sure if this gun is better than the Type 100. It might be a tad bit worse, but it definitely is, on around the same playing level as a Type 100. I definitely need more playtime to decide that. I definitely think this gun is a good gun. It has 32 bullets in its magazine to start off with, and has a half decent fire rate. Not the fastest fire rate, but not the slowest fire rate. Very similar to the Type 100. So let's talk a bit about the class setup and what I like to run. First thing for this SMG is you run kind of weird with this gun. I don't know. It's like all the new DLC weapons. I have the Gewehr 43 also. You run kind of weird with them, but that's not really a problem. You want airborne. That's pretty much obvious. Airborne is the best for SMGs, and this gun works fairly well with the airborne and with the suppressor on it being stealthy up close in their face. This gun does not do too well at medium to longer ranges, not because it has recoil of any sort. This gun literally has no recoil, similar to the Type 100, but it just doesn't do as well because it takes so many bullets to kill at longer ranges. Even if you're hitting all your shots, the enemy could have a better gun for longer ranges and be able to take you out, and that's just why I prefer to rush, keep it silenced, basically the same playstyle you play with most of the SMGs. I find drop shotting works very good with this one as well. As far as the gun and the two attachments that I like to run, because with airborne, of course, you only get 2 attachments. I like to run the 2 attachments. The first one is going to be extended mags. Now, do you need extended mags on this gun? No, but I just find it helpful. Having extended mags is awesome, and because this gun has no recoil, you're basically given that opportunity to run whatever else you want. My second attachment is going to go ahead and be the quick draw. Quick draw is pretty much required, not required, but it's definitely the go-to in all SMGs because you want to be up in their face, up close and personal, and quick draw definitely helps out with that, and extended mags would be my second attachment. Now in this gun, because it has a pretty good base stats, you don't really need, you do have some customizable options with this. I just like extended mags because it allows me to rush freely and not worry about reloading. However, you could swap out that extended mags for maybe if you want to have a steady aim, a rapid fire. If there's another attachment that you prefer a lot, you can easily swap that out because you don't need a grip, you don't need anything on this gun except quick draw. So that second space is definitely, optional, but I definitely find that extended mags works with this gun the best. As far as the actual class setup for a secondary, you run whichever pistol you guys want to run. Usually with pistols, people always ask what's the best attachment for pistols. Also, you pretty much always want to do the extended mags on pistols because they have like such a short magazine size because they are secondaries. Pistols usually work 100% the best on secondaries. I run the Semtex grenade, and the basic training is the next big thing to talk about. The basic training I like to run on this gun is energetic. I find that energetic is so damn underrated. What it does is it allows you to sprint for longer distances, and also when you stop sprinting, or I think it allows you to sprint faster. When you stop sprinting, basically you get to sprint again much sooner. That's the main part of it, is when you stop sprinting, you get to sprint again sooner, and that is a key. In this game, while with airborne you can sprint quite a bit, there is long pauses and long periods between each sprint, and that's where energetic comes in and fixes that, and that is 100% what I like to run on it. Plus with this energetic, you get to spots off the rush routes. Like if you watch my rush routes off the starts of the starts of these games, like the start of the game, I could rush up the middle and get there before the enemies are, to where they're not expecting you. Energetic is huge for games like Search and Destroy, or even Domination, because off the start those rush routes are ridiculously fast and people do not expect you to be there. And if you get a good start to a round or a good start to a game, that definitely goes in and allows you to have a good game overall. Plus energetic is just awesome. There's a lot of time in this game where you're just running around trying to find enemies, especially on the bigger maps, and energetic just makes the game more fun and makes the game flow a lot better. It feels like one of my favorite things in Call of Duty is back in Modern Warfare 3, when you would have specialist bonus and you would run super fast and all that different stuff. Having energetic airborne, it feels like you have that on constantly, and especially if you're a player that uses something like the bar infantry or infantry setups a lot, which I do. Obviously I'm more of an SMG player, but I do have a good amount of time on infantry. Switching over to this class setup is so refreshing because of how fast you can run. It really gives you the advantage to be able to get up in the enemy's face, cycle through their spawn, like is a way that I talk about, and do well. So I definitely think this is the best class setup for this Sten. As far as other class setups though, this Sten has a lot of different options for classes. The only thing that I wouldn't switch up is airborne. 100% you need to run, and as well as this gun is basically only good at close range, because at medium range it just takes too many bullets to kill, especially with that silencer on. If you're playing on more of a bigger map, that you have the option. That's what people always ask me, when should I equip the silencer? Should I rush their spawn and then equip the silencer? And while that can work, it is a very, very complicated. The easiest way with the silencer is just straight up to either have it on or have it not on, depending on what you want to do. And I think it depends a lot on the map. So for example, on a map like London Docks, this is a map where I prefer to cycle, basically get up in their building, run around that building, switch spots, shoot enemies in the back, shoot enemies in the side, and that's where the silencer comes into play. Small maps where I like to cycle in their spawns, I like to get up right here and shoot people where they're not expecting me at. On maps where you shouldn't run the silencer, where you still can, but on maps where it would be more likely to not run a silencer, will be a map like Point du Hoc, where you're going to be running straight at enemies in the trenches, or but the thing is, the silencer only affects yourself at longer ranges, so you have to balance it out there. The maps that have longer ranges, maybe you don't want to run silencer, but then again, on those maps with longer ranges, you want to be getting up in their spawn. So it all basically depends on your class and how you're basing that class setup around. Also, if you're playing the objective super heavy and in a hard point, you might want to run a non-silencer, or in competitive game modes non-silencer, because people are going to be calling you out anyway, and people are going to be paying more attention. So that's where it depends. In game modes where they aren't paying as much attention, TDM, domination, stuff like that, with the silencer on, can be super duper helpful. And that's just how I think this gun plays. Now, the Sten, where do I think it classes in the SMG category? I think it's about a mid-level SMG. I don't think it's the best SMG. I would say it's your mid-level SMG, which is pretty decent for a DLC weapon. It's one that it's kind of fair, because if you get this weapon, you can use it, you can have fun with it and stuff like that, but it's not like if you're missing this weapon, you're missing out on the best guns in the game. And that's where it kind of got crazy back in BO3, especially on that last drop, even though it was like almost 2 years after BO3 came out. When that MSMC, or what was called the XMC in BO3 dropped, that's when it sort of became pay to win, because that weapon was actually better than the weapons in the game, and that's where they draw the fine line. I think DLC weapons are fine if they're even if they're strong, but the fact is, a lot of people like to complain pay to win, but technically it wouldn't be pay to win. There is ways to get these weapons free also. I made a video on it earlier today, but technically it wouldn't be pay to win unless those weapons were significantly better than the base weapons. And that's one thing, that this weapon, while it's good, it probably doesn't match up to the Type 100, and it definitely doesn't match up to the PPSH. So I would put it above certain SMGs though, and I think it's a fun one to use, especially right now when all the hype is out of around it. But I don't think, unless something changes in the meta or in the patch updates, that this will actually be like the strongest SMG ever. But I'm very excited. It's kind of weird how they dropped all 5 DLC weapons in one day, and now we have this winter event, so I'm interested to see, I guess we're not getting any more DLC weapons until January, which kind of sucks, but maybe they will drop stuff differently. I kind of like the way that other games did it, where they dropped 2 or 3 at a time every couple of weeks. I think that is definitely the best way to do it. Dropping 5 in one day while the hype was insane, and I uploaded 5 videos in 11 or 12 hours. You guys, if you want to see any of the new guns, I've uploaded gameplay of literally all of them onto my channel, and while that was fun to do and a lot of work for me, but of course getting the gameplays up and stuff like that, 5 is a little bit overwhelming, and I liked it better the way they did in BO3, Halo 3, although the supply drop system wasn't the best in that game, where they would drop like 2 or 3 guns, 1 melee weapon. That really did work and kept the hype up. And, you know, I would even like it if they did something where every single week they dropped 1 or 2 weapons, or, you know, every week or 2, maybe every 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weapons. That would be absolutely dope. 5 at once hits you like a freight train, and I definitely, you know, even though they announced it, I was thinking they were going to space it out a little bit more, but I wasn't sure. But it is cool because now we have nothing to wait for. This Winter Siege event is out, and so are all the weapons. Drop a like if you guys made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and sub for Cookie and Don't Licky, and I'm out. Peace.